You're holding a small piece of history in your hand, but does it hold a secret? In 1977 and 1987, a handful of U.S. nickels were struck with errors so rare, they could be worth a fortune today. From misprints to double strikes, these coins could be hiding in plain sight, just waiting to make their owners rich. Some of these nickels have sold for tens of thousands, maybe even millions. The 1977 Jefferson nickel sits quietly in countless penny jars and coin collections across America. But hidden among these common 5-cent pieces lurks an extraordinary secret. Some 1977 nickels are worth astronomical sums that could change your life forever. Today, we're uncovering the fascinating world of these valuable error coins, and showing you exactly what to look for. In 1977, the Philadelphia and Denver mints produced over 585 million nickels combined. Each one was designed to be identical, featuring Thomas Jefferson's profile on the obverse and his historic home Monticello on the reverse. But during this massive production run, something went wrong. Multiple striking errors occurred, creating some of the most valuable modern coins in numismatic history. The most famous 1977 nickel error is known as the split head variety. During the minting process, the die that stamps Jefferson's portrait literally cracked, creating a distinct line running through his head. This seemingly simple imperfection can turn a regular 5-cent piece into a $50,000 treasure. One collector in Ohio discovered this variety while sorting through his grandfather's coin collection in 2019. After authentication by PCGS, the coin sold at auction $4.67,850. But that's just the beginning. The real prize among 1977 nickels is the elusive, double die obverse. This error occurred when the hub that creates the die struck twice at slightly different angles, causing distinct doubling on Jefferson's features. The doubling is most visible in the letters of Liberty and the date, appearing as though the text was stamped twice with a slight offset. A pristine example of this error sold in 2021 for an astounding $125,000. Let's break down exactly what you need to look for when examining your 1977 nickels. First, grab a magnifying glass, you'll need it. Start with the date. Using your magnifier, look closely at the numbers. On valuable double die specimens, you'll see clear separation in the digits, especially in the 77. The numbers will appear to have a shadow or echo effect. This isn't just a slight blur, it's a distinct secondary image of each digit. Moving to Jefferson's portrait, pay special attention to his ear and the word Liberty. On genuine double die errors, these areas show the most pronounced doubling. The letters in Liberty will have a distinct stepped appearance, with two complete sets of letters slightly offset from each other. This isn't just surface damage or wear, it's a precise, consistent doubling that appears identical on every genuine error coin. But there's another error that makes the 1977 nickel truly exceptional: the off-center strike. During minting, if the planchet isn't perfectly centered when struck, the result is a coin with part of the design missing, replaced by a blank crescent of metal. The value of off-center strikes varies dramatically based on how far off-center the strike is and how much of the date remains visible. A 1977 nickel struck 50% off-center with a visible date recently sold for $32,000. One of the most remarkable stories comes from a bank teller in Michigan who noticed something odd about a 1977 nickel in her register. The coin showed significant doubling and appeared to be struck off-center. After sending it for professional grading, she discovered she had found both a double die and off-center strike error, an incredibly rare combination. The coin later sold at auction $4,218,500. Here's where things get really interesting. In 2018, numismatists discovered an entirely new variety of 1977 nickel error, the transitional strike. These ultra-rare specimens were accidentally struck on copper-nickel planchets intended for quarters. The result? A nickel with the weight and composition of a quarter. Only 3 examples are known to exist, with one selling privately for over $800,000. But the holy grail of 1977 nickel errors combines multiple major mistakes. Imagine finding a double die obverse with a split head variety, struck 40% off-center on a quarter planchet. While no such coin has been confirmed to exist, experts estimate its potential value would exceed $2 million, making it one of the most valuable modern coins ever produced. Let's talk about authentication, because this is crucial. The market is unfortunately flooded with counterfeit error coins. Any 1977 nickel showing significant errors should be authenticated by either PCGS or NGC, the two most respected certification services in numismatics. These organizations use advanced imaging technology and expert analysis to verify the authenticity of error coins. One collector learned this lesson the hard way after paying $45,000 for what he believed was a double-die 1977 nickel, only to discover it was artificially altered. The doubling had been carefully added using modern engraving tools. This type of sophisticated counterfeiting has become increasingly common as values for genuine error coins continue to rise. Here's a vital tip for examining your 1977 nickels: use proper lighting. Natural sunlight or a bright LED light source is essential. Hold the coin at various angles, allowing the light to highlight different areas of the design. Genuine die errors will show consistent doubling or splitting across all affected areas, while damage or alteration typically appears irregular under careful examination. The mint mark is another crucial area to examine. All 1977 nickels were produced either in Philadelphia, no mint mark, or Denver, D mint mark. The mint mark, if present, appears on the obverse to the right of Monticello. On genuine double die errors, the mint mark itself may show doubling. However, be cautious. Doubled mint marks alone are not as valuable as coins showing doubling across multiple design elements. Temperature and storage conditions play a vital role in preserving these valuable errors. One collector stored his 1977 double-die nickel in his humid basement for decades, significantly reducing its value due to environmental damage. Proper storage in temperature-controlled conditions using inert materials is essential for maintaining maximum value. Consider the story of Tom Hansen, a retired postal worker who discovered a 1977 split-head nickel while rolling coins from his change jar. He almost disposed of it, thinking the line through Jefferson's head was damage. Only after seeing a similar coin in a numismatic magazine did he realize its significance. That 5-cent piece eventually sold for $42,500, funding his grandson's college education. The development of new imaging technology continues to reveal previously unknown varieties of 1977 nickel errors. Advanced microscopy has identified subtle die crack progressions, showing how the split head variety evolved during the minting process. This research has helped authenticate additional examples and contributed to our understanding of how these valuable errors occurred. Professional grading services use a 70-point scale to rate coin condition, with 70 being perfect. For 1977 error nickels, even a single point can mean thousands of dollars in value. A double die example graded MS 65, mint state 65, might be worth $75,000, while the same coin in MS 66 could command $150,000 or more. Here's something few collectors know: the position of the error can significantly impact value. On double die coins, stronger doubling on the date typically commands higher prices than specimens showing stronger doubling in other areas. This preference reflects both collector demand and the error's visual appeal. The time of day when the error occurred can sometimes be determined by studying die progression. Early die state errors, produced when the die was fresh, typically show sharper details than later state errors. This chronological aspect adds another layer of collectability and value to these remarkable coins. Metal flow lines provide another authentication tool. Genuine mint errors show consistent metal flow patterns that can be observed under magnification. Counterfeit or altered coins typically display irregular metal flow or tool marks that betray their artificial nature. One of the most fascinating aspects of 1977 nickel errors is their distribution pattern. The majority of confirmed double die examples were discovered in the northeastern United States, suggesting they may have been released in specific Federal Reserve shipments. This geographic concentration has led some collectors to focus their searches on coins originally distributed in that region. Weight can be another indicator of valuable errors. A standard 1977 nickel should weigh exactly 5 grams. Transitional errors struck on quarter planchets will weigh 5.67 grams. This simple measurement can provide the first clue that you found something extraordinary. The future value of 1977 nickel errors continues to rise as more collectors recognize their rarity and historical significance. Market trends suggest these coins could appreciate significantly over the next decade, particularly as new collectors enter the market and competition for the finest examples intensifies. Remember, patience and persistence are key when searching for these valuable errors. Many successful discoveries have come from methodically examining rolls of nickels or carefully sorting through accumulated change. The potential reward makes this effort worthwhile. A single valuable error coin could be life-changing. The humble 1987 Jefferson nickel sitting in your pocket change might be worth far more than 5 cents. In fact, some of these coins have sold for staggering amounts. We're talking 6 figures and beyond. But before you empty your piggy bank, let's explore what makes certain 1987 nickels so incredibly valuable. The Denver and Philadelphia mints produced over 1 billion nickels in 1987. Most of these coins are worth their face value today. However, hidden among these billions are some of the most sought-after error coins in modern American numismatics. Let's start with the basics. A standard 1987 nickel features Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. The coin measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter and weighs exactly 5 grams. It's composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. But here's where things get interesting. The tiniest deviation from these specifications can create a coin worth thousands. Take the case of Tom Henderson, a coin collector from Ohio. In 2019, he was sorting through rolls of nickels when he spotted something unusual, a 1987 nickel with a dramatic die crack running through Jefferson's head. That single coin sold at auction for $3,800. What Tom found was a rare die break error, where the die used to strike the coin developed a severe crack during production, but that's just the beginning. The most valuable 1987 nickel errors fall into several distinct categories. First, we have the double die errors. These occur when the die receives multiple impressions at slightly different angles during its creation. On 1987 nickels, double die errors are most noticeable in Jefferson's eye, the word Liberty, and the date that in 2021, Sarah Chen, a casual collector, discovered a 1987 nickel with significant doubling on the reverse. The columns of Monticello showed clear separation, creating what appeared to be double columns. That coin was graded MS-65 by PCGS and sold for an astounding $12,500. The next category involves off-center strikes. When a planchet isn't properly centered during striking, the result is a partially blank coin with the design off to one side. The value of these errors depends on how far off-center the strike is and how much of the date remains visible. A 1987 nickel struck 50% off-center while retaining a full date recently sold $4,750. But here's where the values start climbing into truly remarkable territory. The holy grail of 1987 nickel errors is the broad strike. These occur when the collar die fails to properly contain the planchet during striking. The result is a coin that's slightly larger in diameter and thinner than normal. However, the most valuable broad strikes are those combined with other errors. In 2018, a professional grading service authenticated what many consider the ultimate 1987 nickel error, a broad-struck coin with a dramatic double strike, with the second strike rotated 75 degrees. This unicorn of numismatics sold for $167,500 at a heritage auction. The coin showed two complete, clear impressions of Jefferson's portrait, creating an almost artistic effect that error collectors dream about. Let's talk about how to spot these valuable errors. You'll need good lighting and at least a 5x magnifying glass. Start by examining the lettering. Look for any signs of doubling, particularly in the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Pay special attention to the date. 1987 should be crisp and clear. Any splitting or shadowing in the numbers could indicate a valuable double die. Next, check the rim. A normal 1987 nickel has a distinct, raised rim. Any variation, whether it's too wide, too thin, or irregular, could indicate an error. Run your finger along the edge. A genuine broadstrike will feel slightly different from a normal nickel, with a thinner profile and possibly a wider diameter. Don't forget to examine Monticello on the reverse. The building's columns should be straight and evenly spaced. Any doubling or distortion here could be valuable. The steps leading up to Monticello are another key area. Clear, distinct steps can add significant value, even on non-error coins. Here's a lesser-known fact that could make you thousands. Some 1987 nickels were struck on planchets intended for other denominations. These wrong planchet errors are among the most valuable. A 1987 nickel struck on a penny planchet sold for $45,000 in 2020. The copper color and lighter weight made it immediately identifiable as something special. The condition of your coin matters tremendously. Professional grading services use a 70-point scale, with 70 being perfect. A common 1987 nickel in circulated condition might be worth face value, but the same coin with a significant error in MS-65 condition could be worth thousands. Even minor contact marks can significantly impact value. Let's discuss some real-world discoveries that will make you want to check every 1987 nickel you find. In 2017, a bank teller in Michigan noticed something odd about a nickel in her till. The coin showed clear evidence of being struck through grease, a manufacturing error where lubricant gets trapped between the die and planchet. This created a ghostly, partially missing Jefferson portrait. That coin, which she almost handed out as change, sold $4 to $800. Or consider the story of David Martinez, who inherited his grandfather's coin collection in 2016. Among the coins was a 1987 nickel with what appeared to be a small clip missing from the edge, a curved indent that looked like a bite taken out of the coin. This seemingly damaged nickel turned out to be a valuable curved clip error, worth $1,750. But perhaps the most incredible 1987 nickel discovery story comes from a vending machine service technician in Texas. While emptying a machine in 2019, he noticed a nickel that felt unusually heavy. Upon inspection, it turned out to be a double-struck coin where the second strike occurred on top of a trapped piece of copper scrap. This dramatic error, known as a capped die strike, sold at auction $4.78,500. The market for error coins continues to grow, with serious collectors willing to pay premium prices for the rarest specimens. A 1987 nickel with multiple errors, say, a broad strike combined with doubling and an off-center strike, could potentially break previous price records. Some experts estimate that such a coin could fetch over $200,000 in today's market. Here's what makes the 1987 nickel particularly interesting to error collectors. It was produced during a time of high-speed minting when quality control measures were different from today's standards. This created opportunities for more errors to slip through. Additionally, the copper-nickel composition makes certain errors more visible than on other denominations. When examining your 1987 nickels, pay attention to the mint marks. A D below Monticello indicates Denver production, while no mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia. Some of the most valuable errors have been found on both mint marks, though Philadelphia errors tend to command slightly higher prices due to better documentation of their varieties. The weight of your coin can be a crucial indicator. A standard 1987 nickel should weigh exactly 5 grams. Any significant deviation could indicate an error. Some collectors have found 1987 nickels weighing as much as 5.5 grams due to multiple strikes or as little as 4.5 grams due to incorrect planchets. Consider investing in a digital scale accurate to 0.1 grams and a quality USB microscope. These tools can help you identify valuable errors that might be missed by the naked eye. Many successful collectors start with basic equipment and upgrade as they develop their skills. Authentication is crucial in the error coin market. Just because a coin looks unusual doesn't necessarily mean it's a valuable error. Some damage can mimic error characteristics. Professional grading services can distinguish genuine mint errors from post-mint damage, and their certification adds significant value to genuine error coins. the hunt for valuable 1987 nickel errors continues today. New varieties are still being discovered, and prices continue to climb as more collectors enter the market. Some numismatists believe that many remarkable examples remain undiscovered in circulation or forgotten in collections. Remember that time and patience are your allies in the search for valuable 1987 nickel errors. Many successful discoveries have come from methodically examining rolls of nickels from banks or carefully going through inherited collections. The key is knowing what to look for and being thorough in your examination. As we wrap up our exploration of the 1987 nickel, consider this: somewhere out there, perhaps in a forgotten piggy bank or a jar of loose change, sits another six-figure error coin waiting to be discovered. Every 1987 nickel deserves a second look. You never know which one might be worth a fortune.